What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV back here for another Tottenham update and a few interesting stuff to get through today. First one about Steven Bergwijn again, a guy called Freak Jansen.
Freak Jansen.
He's an Ajax journalist, and he says Steven Bergwijn is a key option signing for Ajax this summer as they look to sign a new winger. Obviously, we've spoken about Bergwijn and Ajax a number of times. Me personally, I prefer to keep him in, but with everything going on at the moment, with him not seeing to get any sort of playing time or significant playing time, it does point in the direction that he will be off this summer, doesn't it?
Well, that's why I said, if he's not getting the game time, I don't blame him for wanting to leave. He's got a World Cup to think about. He's got his place in the squad. He's at an age where he needs to be playing regular football, and he might feel like the way he's performing, he deserves a lot more minutes. So as much as we want him around, and I want him to be part of the squad, like, if he's not getting anything more than 2 or 3 minutes at the end of games, and sometimes not even that, then what's the point of him sticking around at the moment? And hope, in the hope that it will change. He wants somewhere where he's going to be a bit more, maybe respected is the word, or where he's going to be able to show off what he's about. And at Tottenham at the moment, why Lucas is being picked ahead of him on the subs bench, I don't know, but he's not getting the adequate time by Conte. So who knows, if Conte does leave, maybe it all changes, but how the things are at the moment, I can't see him sticking around.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's 5 games left to go, and things can change because definitely a change is needed within this team at the moment. So maybe Bergwijn can get some minutes from now to the end of the season, but that obviously remains to be seen. Let's move on and let's talk about Andrea Bastoni. Calcio Mercato say that Tottenham would be willing to pay a big transfer fee for Bastoni this summer. Willing to pay it and actually paying it, 2 different things here, but I would definitely welcome that. He would be an absolutely brilliant signing for us, wouldn't he?
Yeah, the rumours they're saying it could be like 38 million, which would be a great deal for us if we get someone of his quality through the door. We've said it continuously. He's perfect for Tottenham. Left centre back role, player on a very aggressive player who's very good on the ball as well. So let's hope that's one we can get done. I just feel like might be more difficult come the summer to see if Inter Milan sell other players instead of him. A bit like how we were going to get Martinez and they sold Lukaku, and that put that deal on the back burner. So it's very early to talk about it, but I'm happy that we're very interested in him and that we're willing to go as high as what we need to go to get him through the door, because he would be perfect for us.
Would he be...
Again, it relies on Conte staying, I think, as well.
Yeah, but would he be your kind of number one in that position?
I think so, because I think in terms of being used to how Conte plays and his quality, it's probably the best of both worlds.
Yeah, I agree. Next up, Angel Di Maria. Calcio Mercato say that Tottenham are considering signing Di Maria on a free transfer this summer and have made initial contact with the winger already. What do you think about Di Maria? Obviously, he's getting on a bit now.
34 now?
Yeah. So, I mean, do you think it's a viable option?
Probably not, considering he's probably on big wages at PSG. And his age and everything. Obviously, I still think he's an extremely good player. I think he's still, playing quite well at PSG, although, not guaranteed starts all the time now that Messi's there and Mbappe and obviously Neymar take precedent. But I still think his player's got a lot to offer. I'm sure he'll go somewhere and have 1 or 2 good seasons. I just don't think it's going to be at Tottenham.
Do you think it will even be in the Premier League?
Doubt it. Obviously, he came to Premier League and didn't really work out for him at Man United. Maybe a change of scenery. Maybe if it fits in London, he'll be a bit happy, because apparently he wasn't happy in Manchester at all. I don't know. I just don't see the viability in this.
I agree, especially at that age. I mean, kind of the way you want to go is like Antonio Conte's way and bring ready-made players, but I think Di Maria is probably just a bit too much for that. I mean, with the wages that he's going to command, the age that he is, I mean, it's
like extremely short term.
Yeah, exactly. Too extreme.
Yeah.
Next up, Paulo Dibala. Alfredo Pudula is saying that Tottenham have made an approach to sign Dibala on a free transfer this summer, but the player is not rushing into any decisions on his future, but his good relationship with Fabio Paratici could be crucial, and he is the one that is really trying to drive this transfer. Obviously, Dibala is a brilliant player. Reservations about his injury record over the past couple of years. But if Paratici and Conte do kind of signify him as a signing for Tottenham, I would be absolutely massively in favour of it. Obviously, things happened, what happened a few years ago under Pochettino. But do you back this board to get this deal over the line?
Probably not. Again, fantastic player. I know he's had his injury problems, but I still think he's performing at a very high level. I think he's a talent that, even though there might be question marks in him, I think he might be worth taking a risk, even because he's on a free transfer. He's still, 28 years of age. He's still got a lot of years ahead of him as well. He is a player who can suffer a bit from inconsistencies and stuff like that, but I think working under Conte in our system, I think he could be perfect for our system as well. The way he plays, he can link up with the forward players that we have. It just adds armory to depth and quality to our forward line. Bit versatile as well. Can play central striker, can play alpha on the right, can play behind the striker. Yeah, look, you do have to have question marks over his injury, but then we have Kulusevski to come in if anything happens. You know what I mean? Or he's battling with Kulu for that spot. So hopefully he could drive better performance from both of them, that kind of battle. So I'll be massively in favour of bringing someone like Dybala through the door. That'd be incredible. But again, very dependent Champions League football, very dependent on Conte staying, lots of ifs and buts. And obviously,
as there always is with Tottenham.
Obviously, money as well. Maybe other teams can offer him more money, and there's also rumours he wants to stay in Italy, and Inter Milan are after him, and so
I've heard like Atletico Madrid rumours and stuff like that as well.
So it's very up in the air. I wouldn't get your hopes up too much about that. But look, if we are come the end of the season in the Champions League and Conte is staying, that is one I reckon that's definitely could be one in the pipeline.
All right. Next up, get your Danny Rose fingers ready and get yourselves to Google, because we've got a name called Martin Satriano. The Mirror saying that Tottenham are interested in Inter Milan forward Martin Satriano. He's a 21-year-old Uruguayan. Inter signed him in a 1920 season. I believe Conte was there then, right?
Yeah.
So Conte was there when they signed him. He's on loan this year in the French league at Brest. Hasn't scored that many goals, to be fair. Hasn't played that many games. He's only played 12 games, but scored 4 goals in those games. I know nothing about him, but he is a centre forward, can play as second striker as well. And he's got a market value of 3.6 million with his contract expiring in 2027.
Yeah, I don't know much about him, to be honest. I can see he's a tool player. Maybe he's quite good, like with heading and stuff. He'd be a bit of a target man, but I've got no idea who he is. I mean, I haven't been following Brest too much this season, I have to confess. But maybe if he's one...
How can you not follow Brest? Are you serious?
Maybe he's one. Look, maybe get in the comments if you know a bit more about him. Let us know if this could be a good signing. But who knows? Look, he's 20 years of age. It's one of those where you have to rely on the scouting to think that he could be a lot more than he's showing at the moment, because obviously he's not starting many games with Brest. You can't think that he's going to come and make an immediate impact, but it could be one where...
Well, to be fair, actually, he only went on loan there in January.
Okay. Has he got any goals?
4.
That's not terrible.
In 12, yeah.
Not terrible. So, look, he's a young striker. Maybe he's one where the stats, like in terms of his performance, might show that he could be a player to make more of an impact than he's showing at the moment. Who knows?
A goal every 177 minutes, it's saying
terrible.
Here.
One every
in
2
the French
games.
league, yeah.
One every 2 games at 20 years of age. Not terrible.
Yeah, so that's that. And the last bit we've got for you is some interesting quotes from Serge Aurier regarding Jose Mourinho and João Sacramento's time at the club.
Yeah, I do have actually the whole article here. So I'm looking at, he's been talking about his time at Tottenham. And obviously, it's always a hot topic about Mourinho, him being toxic and him falling out with people. Was that the reason it didn't work out at Tottenham? Well, here was Aurier giving his 2 cents on the issue. And he's quoted saying, "Football is different compared to 10 years ago. Mourinho is still a great coach, but there are things that have evolved. Sometimes players need more love and attention." I'm not speaking about Jose. I'm speaking about his assistant, João Sacramento. João is a tough guy, and he didn't have a good relationship with the dressing room, and that's why everything deteriorated. There was a lack of good communication. And following on about João Sacramento, said it was his first experience in a first team, and he lacked the calm with the players. He needs to be more concerned about the person behind the player. Sometimes when you don't play a lot of shit goes through your head, and you need someone to calm you down and help you, to give you good vibes, not send you negative messages. And I think it all started there. It said Aurier, for one, actually had fond memories of working Mourinho prior to his sacking on the eve of the cup final. He said, one day we argued, but it was over tactical issues. I wasn't happy with his decisions, and I went to talk in his office. I know I could talk to him without any problems because he likes the players, to be honest. The day after the problem was solved. I love it because Mourinho listens to you, and then he tells you what he thinks. Sometimes you hate him and you want to kill him, but then you love him because his character is a born winner, and I identify with him, and I have nothing against him. He says, but we were not in a good mood and the club was not happy. Imagine if we had won that final with him, maybe they would have gone crazy for him to stay, and they would have offered him a contract renewal for the short-term thinking and winning a cup. And if the club really wanted to sack him, it would have been possible to do that after winning the Carabao Cup. About his own recklessness, he said, I admit to being a bit reckless, but that's why I express myself on the pitch, and I don't know how to take it easy. I like to be intense and leave with a clear conscience. I don't care what people say about me. I care what my family thinks. There are a lot of footballers who are worried about what people say about them on social media, but I'm not. I listen to everything people said to me. I'd go if I listened to everything people said about me, I'd go crazy. And then he went on to talk about some other things, but he went on to talk about life in Villarreal. He says, I feel loved and respected here. It's not easy to change your life and adapt quickly, but Villarreal is the ideal place to do it. The way the team plays, unlike Tottenham, is always based on having the ball, and that has helped me integrate better. So very interesting what you're saying about Mourinho. Very similar to what our feeling, my feeling anyway, was about Mourinho in terms of why he was sacked before the cup final, in terms of it would have been a lot harder to sack him if he would have won the cup compared to before. And that's obviously a big reason as well, apart from as well him wanting to rest players for the league game, as to why he got sacked. But he seemed to be quite... He seemed to like working under Mourinho, and he liked him. He's saying João Sacramento was the big one as to why the dressing room deteriorated and the mood in the dressing room.
I think that the vibe I got from the majority of the squad is that they all kind of took to Jose. And I think Jose got a lot of bad rap at Spurs for
maybe his reputation.
His reputation definitely kind of got in the way of people, the way they viewed him, for sure.
Especially with the fans. But that was like from minute one, wasn't it? Half of the fan base never really took to him from the beginning, and because of his Chelsea links and because of the way he comes across, because of the narrative that has perceived his whole career. I think that I've said it many a time that Jose was wrongly sacked. I think that he definitely could have had a good job at Spurs if he was backed by the board and if the board gave him what he wanted. And I'm happy that Aurier has come out and said this, because a lot of people have assumed that Aurier and Mourinho just didn't get along. And, you know, the kind of relationship there deteriorated when Aurier walked off at half-time and all that kind of stuff. And I'm happy he said that. And I'm surprised about Sacramento, actually, because when Sacramento was at Spurs, I was a big believer in him. And now he's saying this. It kind of makes me think that, and also Sacramento not following him to Roma might be a bit telling as well, in that sense that maybe he was the bag egg there. But who knows? If Mourinho had a different assistant, maybe things are going to be different. If he's putting that much blame on Sacramento.
It could have been. It's mad that he's coming out and saying, and I'm happy he's coming out and saying that. But I genuinely believe, and even before this interview came out, that Jose could have been a success at Tottenham. I don't believe that he's a washed-up manager. Yes, he's not the manager that he used to be. He's not the best manager in the world anymore, but he's still a good manager.
And I think he's proven that at Roma. He's doing a good job there. If they win the European Conference League, and they're currently chasing Juventus down for the top four, it looks unlikely they'll get it. But I think top 5, if they finish 5th, you know, they probably would have taken that for the beginning of the season because they were very mid-table, weren't they? Struggling badly.
And you've got Tammy Abraham.
Obviously, they finished 7th last year.
You've got Tammy Abraham and Roma and Roma players coming out saying what a good coach he is and how much we're enjoying playing under him. When he was at Spurs, when he left, you had the players flooding on social media talking about Jose. When Nuno left, not one player came out on social media.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's also quite telling in my opinion.
So maybe there's life in the old dog left.
I think so. I mean, all you need to know is the way Kane and Jose had that relationship. I don't think they would have that relationship if he was a washed-up manager. Yeah.
And obviously, he got sacked just before the cup final, wasn't even able to see out the season. I'm not saying we would have got top 4 or anything, but, you know, who knows what would have happened.
More chance under Jose than Mason, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I definitely. That's definitely true. And, you know, I think we sacked him at such a stupid time. And I think it was probably unfair on him not to allow him just to see the job through, even if they were planning on sacking him at the end of the season. But I think Aurier's right. I think the plan, I think the club decided to sack him. And I think they thought, well, if we allow him the Carabao Cup final and he wins it, it's going to be a lot harder. So better just do it now. And I think probably lived to rue that at the end of the day. But look, we got Conte now, so it's no point thinking about old managers. But look, I think Mourinho's job at Tottenham probably, in hindsight, you know, wasn't the disaster everyone says it was.
Agreed. Yeah, and he's not the washed-up.
Not saying he did an amazing job, but it wasn't like
no, he didn't do an amazing job. But when you look at it, like, first of all, I don't think he got a lot of signings that he wanted. And second of all, like, the way we were playing football at that one stage, being top of the league in December, we were blowing away teams at one stage. And then obviously something went bad in one game, and then it all fell apart after that. But I think if Jose got his own signings in, his own people in, I think it could have gone a lot better. I really believe that. And I think if he got to follow that season through and had a summer transfer window that he wanted, which obviously he might never have got, I also think it could have gone better for him. And I think a lot of the things he says are true, Jose.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that.
So that's that. And that is your Tottenham Update today. I want to know your opinions on Jose Mourinho and these quotes from Serge Aurier, and also anything that we've spoken about today. But that is your Tottenham Update. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.